He inherits the empire, but rival guilds already brace a blade at his throat. The eldest sibling steps forward, demanding Soho take the merchant group leader role. Soho protests, pointing out he is the youngest and the position belongs to the eldest. The sibling argues the group needs his talent to survive. This exchange forces Soho to confront a duty he never wanted, and the decision will shape the family's future. I'm the youngest. It doesn't make sense for me to lead. The sibling presses harder, insisting Soho's skill outweighs birthright. The elder sibling continues, saying Soho's talent far exceeds his own.
You watch the fallen bodies of your entire life. The wreckage naming each lost ally. Breeze Mr. Lim, the generals, the Silver Wind Squad leader, even the Sunset Pavilion leader. All of them lie dead before his eyes, the youngest son of the Eunhae merchant group. The realization hits hard. He is the sole survivor, burdened with revenge. Breeze Mr. Lim, the generals, the Silver Wind Squad leader, and even the Sunset Pavilion leader.
Soho surveys the collapsed trade district. Overturned carts and lifeless merchants surround him. He mutters, "Do merchants' lives matter in Porum's grand scheme?" The question reflects his frustration at being dismissed by the empire. It matters because if merchants are seen as worthless, his plan to rebuild faces a massive obstacle. Do merchants' lives matter in Porum's grand scheme? His doubts turn into regret about mistraining. Soho leans against a broken ledger stand, thoughts racing. He regrets never training in martial arts and wishes the Eunhae group had expanded faster. He whispers, "If only I learned martial arts younger." Then, "If only our Eunhae group expanded more." He adds, "Then we might not have died today." A senior guard gestures sharply, ordering Soho to return to his quarters and sit facing the wall. Soho obeys, feeling the weight of the command. The directive isolates him, limiting his access to information. This matters because confinement could either protect him or keep him from acting against the looming threat. Soho's confinement sets up the next encounter with Madame Moon. You remember the exact second you die. Soho relives the moment his body falls. He hears the Chief of Internal Affairs, Yu Soe-kei, scolding him instead of the battlefield. The lecture that day burns his pride like ash. This memory shows how internal politics crush him as much as enemies. Soho's mind floods with crystal-clear images of his final moments. He sees the burning hall, hears his sister scream, and feels the weight of his lineage collapsing. The clarity of those memories fuels his determination to change the future. Those family images drive him to rewrite the upcoming massacre. Laying dead in front of me, and the moment the White Heaven merchant group leader's sword, Soho watches his own corpse collapse beside him, blood pooling. He watches the enemy leader draw a gleaming blade, poised to strike. The sword's cold metal reflects his own terror. The chapter opens with the Eunhae headquarters ablaze. Smoke curls over the courtyard. Traders scramble, clutching ledgers. Guard posts stand empty, their swords sheathed. Soho watches the flames from a balcony, his face half hidden. The fire consumes warehouses that store precious silk and spice. His older brother's banner lies torn on the ground. The devastation signals the first major loss for the family. The destruction forces Soho to confront the looming crisis. Soho steps into the trading hall the next day. He sits at a wooden desk, leafing through contracts. A senior clerk explains profit margins while Soho asks about supply routes. He notes that his personal guard, Yeo Young-am, watches silently from the doorway. Soho watches the Inferno devour Eunhae headquarters, whispers his lone vendetta, and declares he obliterates every clue, slaughtering anyone who could testify. Soho feels the weight of a cursed family omen predicting his early death, wrestles with his frailty, and agonizes over ending his brother's suffering versus preserving his humanity. As Soho traces routes on the dim corridor map, his eyes flicker toward a hidden passage, and the looming choice of which path to strike leaves the fate of the Eunhae Empire hanging in terror. Checkmate. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. You hear his desperate whisper. Please, escape from this place. Lee Junwoo shouts it to his younger sibling, urging them to flee the collapsing storage vault. The vault walls crack, dust pours, and the heat rises. Junwoo knows staying means certain death, but he hopes the sibling can survive. Their escape could keep the miracle medicine safe, a key to curing his Dragonstar condition. Please, escape from this place. Next, Junwoo debates staying to retrieve the cure. Junwoo tells his companion that he must go alone. He claims his purpose is to secure the miracle medicine, even if it means dying in the process. He urges the other to run quickly, promising his death won't be meaningless.
Junwoo throws his hands up, begging the hesitant companion to trust his plan, while scolding them for ignoring the guidance of their guardians. The companion grins, cracks a joke, and shouts they're ready to move, brandishing a hidden click device. Their upbeat reply pushes the group toward the hidden tunnel, confirming the team will attempt the dangerous extraction together. I beg you, stop ignoring our guardians. All right, I'm in. Let's go. Their uneasy alliance sets the stage for a showdown with Lord Gwon's scouts. Junwoo admits he cannot promise to outshine his opponent, but vows to grow as strong as possible.
Senior clerks whisper that Junwoo looks different. One points out his taller posture, another notes his steadier steps. They argue about how long he will keep the change hidden, frustration bubbling. Their murmurs spread across the finance pavilion, stirring curiosity among the lower staff. The chatter threatens to expose Junwoo's secret before he can fully control the medicine's effects. Their gossip could undermine his authority. Soon the finance pavilion will test his speed with a surprise audit. Rank member Yeo Chongyui confronts Junwoo, demanding proof of his paperwork. He asks if Junwoo truly finished the reports in 2 hours, insisting the task should take 2 days. Junwoo replies that he summarized the data, not drafting each line. Ah-sung, a rank finance pavilion member, steps forward, noting the heated argument. He reminds everyone that he is the senior officer present. Restore order. His interruption underscores the hierarchy and the need for discipline amid the frivolous bet. The senior's authority could reshape the outcome of the wager.
You're all too heated. Rank 9 member Ah Sung interrupts the fight. I'm the senior, though.
Now the chief of internal affairs must decide the audit's fate. Junwoo stands up, grabs the stack of documents, and says he's ready. He steps to the finance pavilion desk, pushes the papers forward, and the clerk stamps a lucky character fu on the top sheet. Junwoo walks into the main hall, heart pounding. He spots his father seated on the throne and his older brothers standing nearby. He realizes this is the first time he sees them since returning from the modern world. The moment carries heavy weight because his family's perception will decide whether his new plans gain support. He steadies himself, ready to make an impression. He prepares to prove his worth to his father. Junwoo sighs. Oh, I've got to show them. He clenches his fists, eyes narrowing. He decides to present his miracle medicine's effect and his business plans as proof of his worth. This declaration pushes him toward a bold move that could secure his place in the family hierarchy. His next step is to confront his father with the new trade proposal. Junwoo snatches the sealed miracle medicine, gulps it as his Dragonstarine flares and yang steadies, and the finance pavilion erupts in shocked whispers while senior clerks slam their ledgers in disbelief. He feels the sting of public insult and the weight of his family's scorn. Yet he seizes a burning resolve to prove his worth, risking his fragile health for honor and acceptance. Now he stands before his father's throne, fists clenched, ready to unveil the medicine's power. While senior clerks plot retaliation, Jang Hyen warns of ruin, and the true test of his lineage looms. That betrayal stung. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari for the payback.
The youngest Eunhae heir feels a spark ignite his resolve, the family's legacy flickering on the brink. Soho's mind flashes to a past life vision, a blazing firewall breach slamming into the finance pavilion within days. The image screams sabotage. Someone plans a calculated arson. The weight of that warning presses hard on his chest. Determined, he vows to stop the fire before it raises the trade hub that sustains their empire. The memory becomes his battle cry, In my previous life, the finance pavilion was hit by a firewall breach. He knows his father's imminent arrival will put his warning to the test. Soho freezes as the memory sharpens. Soho questions whether anything beyond lying in bed and eating counts as overdoing it for Enos. Jingo snaps, calling the remark twisted and inappropriate. The harsh rebuke pushes Soho toward the field test, exposing his insecurity about physical strain. Their exchange ignites the tension that will drive the brutal 1.5-minute trial. Soho wonders how long they must keep tending to their crippled brother, coughing blood, performing monthly rituals, shuffling with a cane. He questions what role such a frail sibling could hold within the merchant group. Jingo's face hardens, aware that the family's future hinges on the outcome of the sparring bout. The pressure mounts as Soho's fate hangs on proving his worth. Soho opens his mouth, trying to justify the blush. The redness comes from a vivid image saw in my past life. He admits, pointing to the lingering fire inside him. The confession reveals his guilt over a death he witnessed before reincarnation, and his fear of repeating that tragedy. It's because I saw the image of you dying in my past life. Jingo's eyes narrow, demanding more. His voice trembles as he continues. The vision overlapped with your current youthful face, making the past death feel immediate. That shame fuels my resolve to protect the family, Soho explains. Jingo watches, his expression hardening, as the modern knowledge merges with magical memory, shaping Soho's motivation.
A single kanji fu flashes on a nearby scroll, hinting at fortune or fate. Jingo then asks, "Is that a bit too harsh of a rejection?" The question puts Soho on the spot, forcing him to confront the consequences of his earlier answer. The tone sets the decisive moment that will determine Soho's role in the upcoming sparring trial.
Is that a bit too harsh of a rejection?
Father steps back, signaling the start of the 1.5-minute sparring trial. Jingo points out that Soho's weakened condition should make night duty impossible. Soho retorts, "All other tasks are fine, but night duty remains out of reach."
Soho bows slightly, gratitude flashing in his eyes. "Thank you for the opportunity, Father," he says, vowing not to waste it. Jingo mutters a low grunt, his skepticism evident. Soho's gratitude shows his resolve to fight, while Jingo's reaction hints at lingering doubt. The moment cements Soho's commitment to the trial. The sparring arena lights up as they step onto the floor. The patriarch warns, if the duel becomes too dangerous, surrender is acceptable. There's no shame in retreat. He adds that he'll keep the warning in mind. The advice offers a safety net, reducing the pressure of a possible fatal mistake. It shows the family's pragmatic approach to training.
The patriarch forces Soho into a 1.5-minute duel against Jingo, the hourglass sand pouring as the crowd watches, the stakes of full duties hanging on his endurance. Soho feels his future teeter on the edge, craving respect and the chance to prove himself while fearing collapse, whereas Jingo smirks, ready to crush his brother's fragile hope. With the hourglass draining to 1 minute, Soho grips his staff tighter, Jingo raises his blade, and the arena holds its breath, leaving their fates hanging in the ticking sand. You won't find a better recap. Prove me wrong or subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The youngest Eunhae heir draws his blade. If he falls, his family loses everything. Seonho steps forward, sword gleaming. The patriarch watches, hand on his own hilt, but says nothing. Boreas, the second young master, mirrors his stance, matching the same steel. A tense silence spreads across the hall. A low voice mutters, "Let's just watch for now." The duel is about to ignite. The duel between Seonho and Boreas looms. Suddenly, Seonho and Boreas clash, swords flashing. The patriarch gasps, his eyebrows raised. Younger masters stare, confused, shouting questions. Songyu replies curtly, confirming his role as brother, while Junwoo bows and calls the patriarch father. The brief exchange cements the hierarchy. The older sibling asserts authority, and the younger acknowledges the patriarch's command. It sets the stage for a test of loyalty between the brothers under the father's watchful eye.
As his brother, that is. Father.
A hidden test looms as the patriarch readies a new challenge. You hear the accusation echoing through the hall as Junwoo lashes out, accusing the patriarch of expecting perfect brothers while ignoring his son's betrayal. He names the traitor, calling him a wretch, and demands fairness. And Kim Soo-yeon declares that Eun Seo-ho is the greatest genius the Eunhae group has ever produced. He admits he underestimated Seo-ho's skill, noting that even an informal duel shows Seo-ho's power exploding. The spectators murmur, surprised by the sudden reveal of Seo-ho's hidden strength. This acknowledgement raises the stakes because the duel now tests not just technique but raw intellect. Soon the two masters clash, swords humming with hidden power. A senior brother comments that Soho, still wobbling, manages to hold his ground against Jin Hoa, a first-rate master, longer than anyone expected. He predicts that if Soho trains under a proper master, his potential will skyrocket. The crowd watches, impressed by Soho's stubborn endurance.
Park Min-ho and Han Jae rush to block the flow of blood from Soho's wound, shouting, "We must stop the bleeding! What caused this?" A stunned onlooker stammers, "That was the elixir." Their frantic effort highlights the dire medical crisis and the hidden danger of the Yang elixir. It matters because the group's secret training drug may have backfired, threatening their future. The next scene reveals who sabotaged the elixir. The second young master, Soho, reaches for a vial of Yang elixir. He misjudges and pours it onto the youngest master, Eun Seo-ho, thinking it's medicine. The bright liquid splashes his chest, causing a sudden surge of energy. Everyone watches as Seo-ho staggers, eyes wide.
Eun Seo-ho scoffs. "Bullshit, Jingo? You don't know anything at all." Soho retorts, "Family is quite difficult, Seo-ho." The exchange exposes a deeper resentment toward the patriarch and highlights how personal grievances fuel the duel. The brothers' words turn the contest into a battle of pride, not just skill. Their growing hostility could fracture the group's leadership. The rivalry sharpens as old wounds surface. Soho declares, "Since it's a closer partnership than any other, we must carry deep-seated bad blood even while spending our lives together forever." He continues, "Living with those thoughts, you forget why you hated people in the first place. My hatred towards you is like that."
Eun Seo-ho steps forward after the duel. He tells his opponent, "I can't just forgive you," then adds, "But I'll let it go with this." He hands a small vial of medicine to the injured Soho. This shows Eun Seo-ho chooses mercy over revenge, but also signals a shift in power. The gesture saves Soho momentarily and signals the duel's end. The chief of external affairs watches, ready to train the younger masters. A senior brother gasps, shouting a sharp, while the crowd murmurs. The sudden reaction cuts through the hall, drawing every eye to the wounded combatants.
Eun Seo-ho lifts his blade, proclaims victory, and hands a glowing vial to a bloodied Soho as the crowd erupts, while senior brothers scramble to conceal the duel's outcome. Soho feels betrayal as his elder brother deflects blame, while the youngest master gains a hidden reputation, and the senior brothers gasp at the dangerous Yang elixir dripping onto his wound. The senior brother's silent pact to bury the youngest's triumph leaves the group's image teetering, and the lingering overdose of Yang Chi threatens to erupt into a fatal scandal.
The next arc starts soon and it changes everything. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry. You'll want to be there.
Yoo So-ae, the chief of internal affairs, grabs Eun Seo-ho, the youngest Eunhae heir, and forces him into a cramped office. He shoves a stack of ledgers onto Eun Seo-ho's desk and warns that refusing means a scandal that could ruin the family name. The sudden draft strips Eun Seo-ho of his privilege and throws him into the ruthless finance machine. The Silver Wind squad already patrols the hallway, ready to chase him. Eun Seo-ho bolts down the marble corridor, clutching the ledger. The elite Silver Wind squad spots him and gives chase, shouting commands to halt. He darts into a service stair, trips, and scrambles back up, heart pounding.
The chief rattles off the workload. Managing group finances, checking taxes, verifying loan documents weekly, monthly, yearly, handling budget allocations, and overseeing condolence events. He lists each task in a rapid stream, insisting they are simple enough. Eun Seoho's eyes widen as the sheer volume sinks in. The chief's tone suggests the work will grind him down, testing his endurance. He then mentions the pure icy snow plum that might help him survive. That crystal vial glints, promising a boost for the night ahead. The chief reassures Eun Seoho, "Assistant, don't worry too much, young master." He adds that he himself once felt the same and that Eun Seoho will soon enjoy the grind. The Silver Wind squad steps onto the floor, their uniforms crisp, weapons ready. Their commander explains they protect the Eunhae merchant group and enforce guard duties. They move to detain any employee trying to flee, including Eun Seoho. Their presence reinforces the company's strict hierarchy and shows that escaping the night shift triggers immediate intervention. Their next target is the finance paperwork stacked on Seoho's desk. Eun Seoho leans against the wall, head pressed to his chest. He whispers that he feels like he'll go crazy from how badly he wants to sleep. He rubs his eyes, staying awake while the night shift looms.
Soho stammers, admitting he doesn't quite grasp the last instruction. The chief repeats the point, confirming the task is correct. Soho finally says yes, but the confusion signals a fragile grasp on the workload. Miscommunication now threatens to cost the group valuable time before the fire alarm test. The looming alarm test looms, and Soho braces for the next command. Soho finishes the budgeting sheet and hands it to the chief. The chief nods and tells Soho to start his night patrol. Soho grabs his lantern and asks a junior clerk if they will stay alone. He steps out into the dim corridor, beginning the rounds he was forced to take. Soho storms the smoldering finance pavilion, brandishing his lantern, and orders his squad to pursue the hidden arsonist as Yusoake silently plucks a snow-white plum, hinting at a secret remedy. Soho feels his confidence crumble under the chief's scrutiny, his lingering drowsiness threatening his resolve, while the revelation of a sleeping agent in his broth fuels his determination to prove his worth. As the squad splits toward the ash-filled trail, Yusoake's sly smile and concealed plum raise questions about hidden alliances, leaving Soho to confront an unseen enemy whose motives remain shrouded.
Sometimes, you have to become a monster to kill one. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
He tried to set the merchant hall ablaze. The youngest son rushes in and snatches the torch. Lee Jun tackles the arsonist, wrestles the flame away, and throws the fireball into a stone bucket. The hall's priceless ledgers stay safe. The senior staff watch, shocked that the rookie stopped a disaster on his second day. This display proves his quick thinking can protect the family's assets. Next, senior staff comment on his odd excitement. After the fire scare, Lee Jun walks into the financial pavilion's main hall. The chief of internal affairs eyes him and says, "You seem excited." Lee Jun nods, his eyes bright, already planning the next move.
You feel the pressure mounting as the tile trap sputters, the air humming with danger. Lee Jun erupts, shouting in disbelief at the sabotage. His voice cracks the quiet, demanding answers from the unseen saboteur. This outburst shows his frustration and forces the hidden enemy to reveal themselves, pushing the duel into motion. Are you kidding me right now? DLE. Stay subbed to Manwa with Hari, or you'll miss the climax. The duel's opening move looms. The camera pans to the shattered tiles, each piece glowing with a cold blue flame. Lee Jun's hands flare with energy as he initiates the Void Twin Dance, his body splitting into twin silhouettes.
Lee Jun reflects that emotions don't have to cripple him. They can drive improvement. He cites his father's advice that feelings are fuel for progress. This mindset prepares him for the pressure of corporate battles ahead. It doesn't have to be. That kind of emotion can also be fuel for growth.
Lee Jun quickly shifts into a subordinate form to finish the duel. He employs a rapid, low-key cultivation technique to seal the remaining cracks in the tile lattice. The subform stabilizes the chamber and prevents any further sabotage. This matters because it ensures the financial pavilion remains operational and the merchant group stays protected. Now the senior staff must decide how to handle the warrior who caused the trap. Lee Jun walks into the financial pavilion's tile hall. A strange glow pulses from a tile on the floor. He stops, eyes widen, and raises his voice. He asks the staff what the light means. Lee Tae-ho grabs Lee Jun's arm, eyes never leaving the corrupt tiles. He nods sharply and says, "Of course I do. You're a capable member of the Eunhae Merchant Group's financial pavilion." The acknowledgement reinforces Lee Jun's role and raises the stakes. His failure could cost the entire pavilion's reputation. "Of course I do. You're a capable member of the Eunhae Merchant Group's financial pavilion." The senior staff tighten their grip on the tile controls, preparing for a countermeasure. A senior retainer steps forward, voice cold. "No one allowed you to faint." He points at Lee Jun, demanding answers. "Answer me."
A masked warrior unleashes a corrupting dark wave onto the tile array, turning the pavilion's vault into a ticking inferno as Lee Jun prepares his void twin dance. Lee Jun feels his family's entire trade teeter on the edge, his livelihood and pride collapsing if a single tile ignites, while his brother's accusation threatens his place in the Eunhae hierarchy. The dark energy spreads, the oil-slick trap readies to blaze, and Lee Jun must decide whether to unleash his dance or watch the pavilion burn, leaving his fate hanging on a single breath.
Turn on notifications and make Manwa with Harry your go-to spot for the latest updates.
The young master doused the inferno just as the lotus courtesan vanished in ash. A frantic dispatch arrives. The squad swoops on a suspect trying to torch the finance pavilion. Under pressure, he admits the blaze came from the lotus courtesan house. The confession fuels the merchant's plot to conceal a debt-erasing ruse. The Breeze Pavilion chief spins his water wheel, crushing the arsonist's resolve. The Breeze Pavilion chief turns the water wheel, the grinding gears biting into the captive's nerves. The pressure shatters his defenses. He confesses, the Lotus Courtesan House ordered the blaze. The culprit is Ah Sung. The link seals the courtesan's involvement. Finance Pavilion arsonist Ah Sung.
Go Il-pyung pronounces the final order. Set the finance pavilion ablaze. He signals the Silver Wind squad to light torches. The covert scheme erupts into open arson, aiming to destroy contracts and hide betrayal. Flames roar, sealing their ruthless plan. Ah Sung steps forward, pleading for calm. He urges the squad to heed the internal affairs chief, warning that lies will corrupt reality. Go Il-pyung retorts, falsehoods twist truth. Their clash exposes fragile trust and foreshadows their cover's collapse. The young master must decide whether to reveal the fire. The conspirators argue the blaze will force everyone's true colors to surface.
Ah Sung snarls at the chief manager. "What's the issue, chief? Never seen a woman's corpse before." Go Il-pyung snaps back. "As no master. Did you touch again? Bandit." Their insults crack the alliance, exposing deeper fractures. Their banter fuels the tension that erupts next. Ah Sung erupts. "You make me want to kill you. The Lotus Courtesan House is to blame." Go Il-pyung snarls. "This good-for-nothing freak. I need to quit." Their fury shows the debt pressure driving them to the brink. The argument pushes them toward a desperate decision on unpaid fees. Ah Sung claims, "I heard you won't pay the outstanding fees with the Eunhae group." Ah Sung grumbles about the Dowson merchant's demands, then proposes a drastic solution. Erase the rival entirely. The suggestion escalates the conflict from negotiation to potential murder. The decision will decide whether the Eunhae group resorts to outright elimination. The choice could spark a full-scale corporate war. Ah-sung bellows, "House Master!" The crowd freezes. The chief manager stammers, unable to name the new master. Silver Wind squad members watch, waiting for orders. The smoldering finance pavilion provides cover. The mystery of the house master becomes a bargaining chip. Go Ilpyeong prepares his next command. He now threatens to expose the Lotus courtesan debt. Ah-sung forces the former housemaster to declare himself the new housemaster amid a smoldering finance pavilion, while Go Ilpyeong unveils a ruthless scheme to annihilate the Dowson merchant group. Ah-sung risks his authority and the fragile alliance, risking exile if his claim fails, while the merchants feel betrayal as their debts vanish in fire, and Go Ilpyeong revels in power's intoxicating surge. The smoldering pavilion still hides the missing ledger. The chief manager stammers on the new house master's name, and the crowd watches, awaiting Go Ilpyeong's next deadly command that could reshape the entire merchant empire. A dark fantasy masterpiece. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to see the darkness unfold. A single missed payment would drown the Eunhae dynasty in blood. A tall collector strides into the Lotus courtesan house, eyes cold. He stops before Eun Seo-ho, smirks, and lifts a ledger. He declares the debt is due now. The tension spikes as the house's future hangs on this demand. "I'm here to collect the money you owe." Eunhae's true purpose looms as the Lotus house hangs in balance. Eun Seo-ho watches the collector's grin, puzzled by the cheerful tone. He notes the man's relaxed posture despite the debt threat. Seo-ho wonders why the creditor seems so calm. The collector's mood hints at hidden confidence, maybe a secret advantage. Eunhae reacts with a frustrated no as Seo-ho blocks his next strike. He mutters, "Hugh," a cryptic reference to a contract clause he cannot breach. The collector's agitation shows his plan is failing. His forged paperwork loses weight against Seo-ho's solid ledgers. The audience senses the collector's desperation growing, hinting that he may resort to more ruthless tactics. Seo-ho's defense strengthens his claim to the Lotus house.
No, flu.
LM circles Seo-ho, sneering as he taunts, "You're scared just by looking at me? Dare stab me?" His voice drips with mockery, trying to unnerve the merchant's son. Seo-ho watches, holding his ledger like a shield, while the collector's words sharpen the conflict from verbal insult to a possible lethal duel. The provocation matters because it forces Seo-ho to choose between peace and a deadly blade. "You're scared just by looking at me? Dare stab me?" Seo-ho now prepares to counter with his ledger. Eunhae slams a stack of papers on the table, shouting, "Look at this, you scum. 1 year delay. We tolerated you out of respect for the pavilion master." Eun Seo-ho slams the forged contract onto the table, sparks flying as steel meets parchment. The rival snarls, brandishing accusations, but Seo-ho flips open pristine ledgers, each entry glowing with profit. He backs the Lotus courtesan house with undeniable numbers, shattering the threat. The room erupts, commerce clashing with blades, and the Eunhae group's grip tightens over the pavilion's destiny. Eun Seo-ho is praised for turning a failing courtesan house into one of Hubei's top 3. The crowd notes his outstanding managerial skills and laments that his talent was wasted at the Lotus house. A rival steps forward, introduces himself as a member of the Eunhae merchant group, and eyes Seo-ho's success with thinly veiled envy. Eunhae forces Yal to unseal the ancient scroll, exposing a forged contract that Seo-ho shatters with his blade, while his glowing ledgers prove the Lotus house's true profits. Seo-ho risks his hard-won reputation and Yal's loyalty, feeling the sting of betrayal as accusations fly, while the rival's mockery threatens to undo years of triumph and the fragile trust between them. Steel clashes against parchment as Seo-ho and Yal duel, sparks flying, leaving the rivals' enraged scream echoing and the outcome of the battle, and the fate of the Lotus house, hanging in desperate suspense. You won't find a better recap. Prove me wrong or subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The house master lies dead. Bakebox mistake ignites a war. Chief Seo storms into the hall, eyes blazing. He shouts at Kong Wai, calling him a son of a coward, accusing him of stirring trouble. Kong Wai squares his shoulders, refusing to back down. The clash signals a power struggle that could topple the Eunhae group. Chief Seo, you son of a coward! Kong Wai's demand to see the housemaster looms. Kong Wai steps forward and asks to speak with the housemaster. He says politely, "May I speak with the housemaster for a moment?" The housemaster nods and replies, "Yes, proceed." The request raises tension because the housemaster controls crucial ledgers. Kong Wai flips through the ledgers and confirms the chief's suspicion. The rival is running an illegal gambling den, ruining the brothel's reputation and delaying payments to Eunhae. This revelation explains the recent loss of revenue and points to a coordinated sabotage. He runs a legal gambling den, delays our payment. The clue leads them toward the Dowson White Heaven Alliance. Chief Seo notes that the money is leaking elsewhere, confirming a wider siphoning operation. Kong Wai thanks the team for trusting his plan, then adds a quick reminder to the viewers. The hidden tunnel beneath the pavilion now seems the only way to expose the mastermind.
Funds leak elsewhere as expected. Thank you for trusting me.
Eun Seo-ho arrives at the pavilion and finds it looking like any other structure. The roof tiles, wooden beams, and lanterns all appear ordinary. However, a chilling breeze sweeps the area, making the air feel unnaturally cold. He notes the temperature drop, suspecting hidden mechanisms or traps nearby. The cold hint fuels his suspicion that the pavilion is a front for something larger. The cold draft may lead him to the hidden tunnel beneath the pavilion. Eun Seo the surroundings, asking if anyone else is nearby. The house master reports that the area is deserted, citing a recent order prohibiting entry until the next day. The woman steps lightly, her feet barely touching the ground. She unleashes a series of sharp sword strikes, each blow cutting the air with precision. Eun watches, realizing she's a master swordswoman. Her technique threatens to overwhelm Eun's defenses and could expose the tunnel's occupants if she breaks through. This masterful attack forces Eun to decide whether to engage or retreat before the hidden allies are discovered. Eun must choose his next move as the tunnel's darkness looms ahead. You feel the sting of the explosion on your skin. The blast throws dust everywhere. Chief Seo winces and shouts, "Tongue!" as a searing pain shoots through his side. The masked woman darts away, disappearing into shadow.
Kong Wai notes that the masked figure seen earlier must be tied to the mysterious door. House Master steps forward and identifies the Dowson Merchant Group's crest on the arch. This confirms the Dowson White Heaven Alliance's covert use of the tunnel, linking the sabotage to a rival house. That masked person must be related to this door. This is the Dowson Merchant Group crest. Their next move is to follow the tunnel into the Lotus Courtesan house. Inside the tunnel, the team moves forward on cramped stone steps. Dim lantern light flickers, revealing old graffiti and a faint scent of incense. The passage narrows, forcing them to walk single file. Their footsteps echo as they near the Lotus Courtesan house's hidden hall. Ahead, a sealed door bears the same Dowson crest, promising the next clue. A masked woman detonates a smoke bomb, drops a crystal, and vanishes into a concealed tunnel beneath the pavilion, where the team discovers the Dowson White Heaven crest and a cramped stone passage. Kong Wai drags wounded Chief Seo to safety, his heart pounding as he witnesses the chief survive, fueling fierce resolve while the lingering haze threatens their comrades and the mission's fragile hope. The team descends the suffocating tunnel, lanterns flickering over ancient graffiti, unaware that the hidden door's secret may awaken a buried power, leaving their fate hanging on the next unseen turn. Connect the dots before anyone else. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Eun Seo-ho snatches the Lotus Courtesan contract, and word spreads that assassins hunt the city. He leads the team down a hidden tunnel that links directly to the Lotus Courtesan house. Inside the dim passage, they spot the Dowson merchant group's insignia etched on a stone slab. The find proves the tunnel is part of a larger network used by rival alliances. This discovery could give Eunhae a backdoor to the province's elite.
Underground tunnel connects to the Lotus Courtesan House, and we found the Dowson insignia down there.
Next, the group debates whether the tunnel alone is enough to secure their advantage. The team gathers around a lantern, weighing the plan. They shrug off the ghost talk and press onward. Teresa orders, "Never mind, let's just go." While the group debates the hidden tunnel's history, Andre explains that Hubei nobles backed the Urim Alliance and the White Heaven merchant group through secret recruitment at this very location. Now the tunnel sits on Eunhae property, giving them a strategic edge in Hubei province. Their claim could swing political favor toward the merchant house. Join the Hari squad with a sub before the system crashes.
Never mind, let's just go.
Nobles backed them via secret recruitment.
Their new foothold invites a surprise attack from the rival Jiang trading house. The camera follows the tunnel's narrow path. Shadows flicker on stone walls. A faint symbol glows, then fades. The group's footsteps echo, growing slower as they sense a presence. A distant clang hints at a hidden mechanism moving. This visual cue shows the tunnel is not just a passage but a guarded secret. The masked figure steps closer, blade half drawn. Teresa gasps, "Huff WH, what do?" She clutches her chest, confused by the sudden chill. She whispers, "Please," as the tunnel's air thickens, suggesting a supernatural barrier. Her panic signals that the tunnel's magic may be active, threatening their mission to use the courtesan house for intel.
Huff WH, what do? Please.
Lee Junwoo steps forward, his voice steady. He declares, "We'll change the future one piece at a time." He outlines a plan to use the medical pavilion as a base for gathering intelligence and to exploit the tunnel for covert trade. The crew nods, ready to rewrite their destiny despite the looming threat. Their resolve marks the start of a new strategy against rival factions. We'll change the future one piece at a time. A new threat looms from the Urim Alliance. Kong Hae-jin stands at the tunnel entrance, arms crossed. She says the group should have waited longer, then shouts, "Young Jin!" As Eun Seo-ho steps out, fresh from an escort mission. Kef points out that the discussion touches the master's physical condition. He reminds them that the master's health could affect the success of the covert trade route. This matters because a weak leader could jeopardize the whole plan.
It concerns your physical constitution.
Eun Seo-ho now weighs the decision as the Urim Alliance watches. Eun Seo-ho arrives with rescued Scout, revealing hidden alliance, while Kong Hae-jin demands Hyung Jin, and the group faces a covert shift in their plan. Hae-jin's dismissal of gratitude fuels the Scout's loyalty, while the Master's trembling reveals a fragile leader whose health jeopardizes the entire trade venture. With Jiang trading house spies lurking, the group's whispered plan hangs on the Master's uncertain condition, leaving the future of the secret route hanging in peril.
You know what to do. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.